So that doesn't mean that we should go for multilingualism. No country has imposed that you should learn 3 language, 2 language, this, that.
What you think? What is the political angle behind the introduction of this three language formula, and what is the political angle behind its opposition?
This is the first fundamental motto, that they want to destroy other languages, mainly Tamil.
So, what is the historical reason for that?
The political reason is to consolidate the whole nation in terms of one language, so that by fostering that language, they can kill the other cultures, they can destroy the other value systems. And the idea is that they want to inculcate through political system. Why should we burden the students? And especially now with artificial intelligence and things, if you want to learn anything, translate anything, even by voice, by write-up, by written statements, you can use technologies to translate and learn and communicate with each other.
What you think in this era of artificial intelligence of 21st century, what scope you have being a language nationalism?
They are using German-centric education, German pride. Exactly same word Hitler used, German pride.
So here
German-centric. They said Indian pride, Indian-centric. He said German ethos, Italian ethos. That is in their language, Italian ethos, Roman ethos.
So how they decode that quote-unquote Indian pride? You said that it is kind of Vedic.
Vedic. It is Vedic science, Vedic maths, and even IITs. Take IITs. IIT director is saying that drink cow urine.
So like there is always a celebration of the Tamil language, passion and romance and the nationalism in a way. But when it comes to Punjab, like we're sitting, what do you think people in Tamil Nadu know about all this? Because what I feel always is, it is always called that it is having the Sikh connotation. Actually, it's not the language state, but a Sikh state. And they are coming with under the garb of language to form the Sikh state.
Yeah.
And how it is identical with the Tamil language spirit, and how it is different. Why there is no kind of opposition, the kind of opposition to the new education policy, to this language formula is coming from states like Punjab or Tamil Nadu?
It's the basic root cause is Punjabis were misled in the name of nationalism.
Very big name.
Yeah, we know.
You know, he has a concert in Delhi, and he was addressing to the audience, to the people who came in the concert. Why I always talk about Punjabi? Because I was born in Punjab. First word I which was came to my mind was Punjab, from Punjabi. My mother was speaking Punjabi. That's why I'm saying I'm Punjab. So that's why Punjabi is important to me. But my question to you is, considering all this, why a cultural icon like him had to explain himself like this?
Because they are put in defensive mode. They are not allowed to freely exercise and practice their values and system and use their language.
Culture or language can be divided?
Cannot, because it shows that political will can divide.
This education policy and language formula, they are the same terms actually. Actually, they will come with something else also. And how we can respond to this all phenomena, in a larger perspective, in the long run, as a strategy, all distinct cultures like Tamil and Punjabi and all of this. What lies ahead for us? Like,
I think that there is a threat ahead, I feel.
ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਚਰਚਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਹੋਸਟ ਗੁਰਸ਼ਮਸ਼ੀਰ। ਪੂਰੇ ਭਾਰਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਇੱਕ ਨਿਊ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਪਾਲਿਸੀ ਦੀ ਚਰਚਾ ਹੈ। ਉਸ ਪਾਲਿਸੀ ਦਾ ਹਵਾਲਾ ਹੈ 3 ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਫਾਰਮੂਲਾ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 3 ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਭਾਸ਼ਾਵਾਂ ਨੇ, ਇੱਕ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਸੂਬੇ ਦੀ ਭਾਸ਼ਾ, ਇੱਕ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ੀ ਭਾਸ਼ਾ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਹੋਰ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਭਾਸ਼ਾ, ਪਰ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਹਿੰਦੀ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅੱਗੇ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ, ਤੇ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਭਾਰਤ ਦੇ ਦੱਖਣੀ ਰਾਜ ਹੈ ਤਮਿਲਨਾਡੂ, ਉੱਥੋਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਚੀਫ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਬੜਾ ਸਵੀਅਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਸ ਤੇ ਆਪੋਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਆਇਆ, ਤੇ ਸੈਂਟਰਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਨੇ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਅਸ਼ੋਕ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਬਿਆਨ ਇਹ ਆਇਆ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਵਿਰੋਧਤਾ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਕਲ ਰੀਜ਼ਨਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਅਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਹਿੰਦੀ ਇੰਪੋਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ। ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਅਲੱਗ-ਅਲੱਗ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀਆਂ ਰਾਵਾਂ ਨੇ। ਪੰਜਾਬ ਲਈ ਇਸ ਸਾਰੇ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਤਮਿਲਨਾਡੂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਤਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਆਪ ਇੱਕ ਲਿੰਗੁਇਸਟਿਕ ਸਟੇਟ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਕਿਸਮ ਦਾ ਰੌਲਾ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ। ਕਿਉਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਢੰਗ ਨਾਲ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਜਾਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ, ਜਾਂ ਤਮਿਲਨਾਡੂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਆਪੋਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਸਮਝਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ, ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਕੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਜਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਤੇ ਤਮਿਲਨਾਡੂ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਸੰਵਾਦ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ, ਜਿੱਥੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਜ਼ੁਬਾਨ ਦਾ ਸਵਾਲ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸਿਆਸਤ ਦਾ ਸਵਾਲ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਨੁਕਤੇ ਤੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਹਿਮ ਸ਼ਖਸੀਅਤ ਨੇ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਜਵਾਹਰ ਨੇਸ਼ਨ। ਡਾਕਟਰ ਜਵਾਹਰ ਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਮੈਸੂਰ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਾਈਸ ਚਾਂਸਲਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਕਨਵੀਨਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਪਾਲਿਸੀ ਹਾਈ ਲੈਵਲ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਆਫ ਤਮਿਲਨਾਡੂ ਦੇ, ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਕਿਤਾਬਾਂ ਲਿਖੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ 'ਚੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਮੇਜਰ ਕਿਤਾਬ ਹੈ ਇਨ ਦ ਸਰਚ ਆਫ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ, ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲਿਸਟਿਕ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਵਰਸਿਸ ਦ ਸੋਸਾਇਟੀ ਡਰਿਵਨ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ। ਤੋ ਇਹ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਕਿਤਾਬਾਂ ਨੇ। ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਸਮਝਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੌਮੀ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਨੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਤਮਿਲਨਾਡੂ ਦੀਆਂ ਰਿਜ਼ਰਵੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਨੇ, ਤੇ ਇਹ ਹੋਰ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸਟੇਟਸ ਦੀਆਂ ਕੀ ਰਿਜ਼ਰਵੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਹੋਣੀਆਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਇਹਦਾ ਕੀ ਸਰੂਪ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਨੁਕਤੇ ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਵਿਚਾਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਾਂਝ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸਰ thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
So lot has been said, lot has been going on. So when we are recording, and few hours before that, your chief minister has said that tell me about one South Indian language which is being taught in the north as per the three language formula, and responded by the Union Education Minister, that Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan, and he said that we are not imposing Hindi to any state, but all those who are opposing the three language formula and the new education policy are because of the political reasons. And where the truth lies?
I think that the Minister of Education, Dharmendra Pradhan,
Yes.
I think he doesn't understand fully what is the spirit of the mother tongue or the local languages in the process of learning, and what role it plays. As an education minister, I think he should have understood what it is. And there is one thing that I would agree, that during the early childhood period, multilingualism will increase cognitive capacities, reasoning capacities, and it is the time that multicultural exposure a kid will get. So that doesn't mean that we should go for multilingualism, because nowhere in the world, in the history of the world, no country has imposed that you should learn 3 language, 2 language, this, that. Most of the countries that imposed certain languages, like recently 10 years ago, China also has made mandatory that everyone should learn English. And why they did? Because Chinese economy is growing, and the trade is expanding almost all parts of the world. The major trade is, as of now, is done by China only, because of their production capacity and their trade capacity. So they need to learn English to conquer economically the whole world, the world's consumption. Because of that, they are making mandatory their students to learn English. And similarly, Europe also is now facilitating. It's not mandatory, but it's facilitating, try to learn some more foreign languages. Reason is, most of the European countries are very, very tiny and small population-wise, and the capacity of production and consumption is very low. And they want to survive. Somehow, after the Cold war between the superpowers.
Yes.
At that time, there was some kind of a balance required. So at that in that instance, they had opportunities to also make some progress in the economy, production, and so on. So they enjoyed wealth. But now they are losing the capacity to produce more and make more trades. And now for them to survive and sustain their economy, they should learn more foreign languages because they are tiny, small countries. So because of that, they need it and they want to learn. So this shows that when there is a need, a country can go and insist people to learn. So let us come back to this India. What is the idea behind three language formula? If a Punjabi person is forced to learn Hindi, by learning Hindi, what is he or she, the children are going to get out of it? Say, for instance, Punjabi is very much rich in its tradition, cultural value systems, culture, and the Guru Granth Sahib has a wealth of knowledge on humanities and human value system. And will Hindi give more human value systems and cultural exposure better than Punjabi language? And one language doesn't mean it is simply communication, but it is the way of life, and it carries along thousands of years, hundreds of years, with its cultural, social, political manifestations of the people
The particular
who speak,
society.
the particular society. So in that way, language is not just only a communication; it is knowledge, and it is manifestation of culture, value, and science, technology, a lot of things. So in that way, that why should one learn another language unnecessarily when they do not get anything more than from the language mother tongue that they are already into? Say, for instance, I would say if Sanskrit, that the government of India is promoting now, and if Hindi, if both are having the virtues and the growth potential on science, technologies, and other things, you and me will go and learn. No one has to. But why people in India are learning Germany? Why people in India are trying to learn English? Why people in India are trying to now learn Chinese first time, and also Japanese, because technologies are there. And knowledge is scientific knowledge, modern science is growing in those languages. And the trade is happening in that. So the people eventually would like to sustain their livelihood, economy, this, that, everything, jobs. For that, they want to learn more. So by learning Sanskrit, what are you going to do? Are there any modern science and scientific technologies there?
But don't you see, like, as the provision goes of as the government was saying that is saying that there is no particular provision of the Hindi learning mandatory, but any Indian language. They are saying that it's not only the Hindi, any Indian language. And what you think, what is the political angle behind the introduction of this three language formula, and what is the political angle behind its opposition?
I think that's a precise question. It's very important because you yourself said it's a political angle. That means it's politics.
Yes.
It is nothing more for to learn culture or restore social values or learn science and technologies. So that means it is a political move. The move behind it, I think that Tamil Nadu is the best state. As a sample case study, you can look into it historically. Primarily, the literature and research, everything says that there are two fundamentally polarized language system in India. One is the Sanskrit, another one Tamil, which both stand on its own in terms of heritage, oldness, and antiquity, and in terms of literature, also wealth, both of them. And they are trying to now come out with prepare graduates, children, youths um, with the ideals of the value system carried over by or enforced by Sanskrit. So, and they are in the preparation of, through the national education policy and many other fora, they are trying to make one nation, one society, one culture, one language, because Hindi, or if that language is Sanskrit, and they can inculcate the values reported or revealed, displayed in Sanskrit language and through Hindi as well. So, this is the first fundamental motto, that they want to destroy other languages, mainly Tamil, because Tamil is having equally the antiquity in it, grammar, the wealth of literature, everything, and that is why Tamil Nadu was following a long time. Tamil Nadu was opposing this move since the linguistic states formation, wherein
So, what is the historical reason for that?
the historical reason for that is that they want to inculcate. See, you take all national education policy, right from Dr. Radhakrishnan and then Kothari and then many other, couple of other policies, and now national education policy. Throughout, all policies are emphasizing Sanskrit. Why? And all policies are making, putting in the front Hindi. Why? And the reason is, the political reason is to consolidate the whole nation in terms of one language, so that by fostering that language, they can kill the other cultures, they can destroy the other value systems. And the idea is that they want to inculcate through political system, by enforcing this, they want to
But
establish.
it can be for the administrative facilitation or communication facilitation also.
No, administration wise, say for instance, Russia has more than 60 languages, very decent languages, established languages. And Russian language was one of the famous languages there, popular languages being used. But that doesn't mean that Russia discouraged other small languages in the country. It allowed all other languages to function, irrespective of the communication gaps that they might have. So that means that communication is not a problem in this era, or even last several years. The more diverse you have, the more innovation and more knowledge productivity you'll achieve. That is science I'm talking about. So that means you have to allow all languages to grow just for the sake of administration and communication purpose. If you are going to burden the children to learn one language as a subject throughout life, you think that it is meaningful? Why should we burden the students? And especially now with artificial intelligence and things, if you want to learn anything, translate anything, even by voice, by write-up, by written statements, you can use technologies to translate and learn and communicate with each other.
Precisely. This is the point. And many people are saying that in the era of artificial intelligence, where you can create any language while saying another language, and this language debate and this sort of language activism or a nationalism is an age-old thing or outdated stuff.
Yeah.
What you think in this era of artificial intelligence or 21st century, what scope you have being a language nationalism?
Language nationalism is a fundamental fascism. I think that why people on earth use language. Say Hitler used certain terms like the Nazism is primarily Aryan racism, and he used blatantly the word Aryan, and he said that purity, Aryan purity, that is Nazism. And that purity, he used his language and his tradition, his value system, and then killed the Jews and others. And he did whatever he could do, and using in favor of language, race, purity, pride. The same thing Mussolini did those days. Same thing on language, Romanito, Italianato. These are all the principles upon which fascism was inculcated by Mussolini. And they both of them used the same education system, both of them. Fortunately, it's maybe coincidentally,
Okay.
they used, and both these philosophies, educational system concur with exactly what National Education Policy 2020 is about. They
It's a strong statement.
Yes, it is. They are using German-centric education, German pride. Exactly same word Hitler used, German pride.
So here
German-centric. They said Indian pride, Indian-centric. He said German ethos, Italian ethos. That is in their language, Italianeto, Romanito.
So how they decode that quote unquote Indian pride?
Quote unquote, it is Indian ethos. They call now, they have expanded the Indian ethos as Indian knowledge system now. It is nothing but Vedic knowledge, Vedic science, Vedic maths, Vedic philosophy, and Vedic humanity. And that is what they are trying. You know what Vedas, Upanishads means, and Smritis, Shrutis means. It is dividing the people, segregating the people in terms of various categories, hierarchically placed.
Yes.
And there is, it lacks equality and liberty and freedom of expression and things you cannot question even in Vedic Upanishadic epistemology and knowledge acquisition. There are certain provisions where you cannot question certain aspects of knowledge. And you can perceive knowledge by seeing a product or object and you can attain. But if you question the fundamental ethos of Vedas, which are primarily based on the cosmic superpower or absolute power, that is called Brahman in Brahma Sutra, and in Vedanta, Lord Vishnu, and all those things are there. And they say that the quest for knowledge is to find, to learn Vishnu or Brahman, that is the knowledge. Or realizing, learning Brahman is the knowledge. It is not scientific. It is not technology. So that means that these are the things that they are trying to inculcate.
You said that it is kind of Vedic.
Vedic. It is Vedic science, Vedic maths, and even IITs. Take IITs. IIT director is saying that drink cow urine. And another IIT is saying that Pythagoras theorem is a Vedic theorem. And Fibonacci max is our max. Everything they are claiming as if it is.
So it's having the political connotations.
That is the political connotation because they want to sell their values, inculcate as if it is the only value, and for the last 3,000 years, and they try to establish now. Future also belongs to this knowledge system, and that is what they call Indian knowledge system, and that has been used to devise curriculum. Rewriting history. They are rewriting history now. And rewriting means in a fake manner with all fallacies. And so science is being misused. And so that means that it has a more political tone to have, through political establishment, they try to inculcate this culture.
As you are putting, and you are putting it with the similarities with the Hitler's education policy and the Mussolini. It's a strong statement.
Yes.
Despite all this, despite all your criticisms coming from Tamil Nadu and all, by and large, the states in India have accepted and implemented the new education policy. Why it is a very pocket opposition of this new education policy and three-language formula? Why India at large, as you have put it earlier, that India is a nation of nations? Why other states, like even in Punjab, the people are not, the government is not opposing, and in a way your government is doing? Why it is so limited opposition if it is the case as you are putting?
Actually, that it is, you have to historically look at it. So historically, if you look at it, the people of Tamil Nadu were assertive, and they were made to be assertive by the leaders and by the system, by the society itself. And they were always assertive when it comes to knowledge and rationality. And Periyar was there, and who inculcated the idea of reasoning. That is, in Tamil, it is called Paguttarivu, reasoning, and then self-respect. So that means that unless you have self-respect and ego, and you will not find the truth, and you have to be assertive. And that also had made some kind of impact in the mindset of the Tamil people. And because Tamil Nadu people are assertive, government is following the suit. I put it that way. It is not the government is making, because government is reflecting
it's
the
a
people
social
of Tamil Nadu.
pressure.
It is a social pressure. They are mounting pressure. The government is reflecting. So it is the people of Tamil Nadu we have to take into credit. We have to credit them.
Okay.
So maybe because in the past, after independence, the other states like Punjab, Gujarat, Bengali,
Not
and all,
even like other South Indian states are not opposing the way of
they
Tamil
are
Nadu.
also, because the thing is, you look at Andhra Pradesh and Kerala and Tamil Nadu, who is more saffronized, who is more, who has more RSS infiltration,
Andhra.
Hindutva ideology. It is Telugu, Andhra Pradesh. Then the people are already convinced and following the suit of the Hindutva ideology. And whoever accepts that, or whoever in the process of not opposing that, will not resist against this. Because it is, you have to collectively see that it is not just linguistic, it is a cultural invasion. And it is a cultural superimposition. And the language is one of it. Education is the one tool. And other legislation, say, for instance, only about roughly 25,000 people are speaking Sanskrit in this country, total, out of 150 crore people. And 1,700 crore has been invested in 1 year for promoting Sanskrit. And whereas only about roughly less than 100 crore has been invested by the central government for all other Indian languages collective together. So then can you see what is the purpose, the political purpose behind it? What is the reason? See, Tamil, Punjabi, very traditional languages, very wealth in its own humanity, lot of literature, philosophy, culture there.
Tradition.
And why not you promote these live languages? See, people on earth, there are a lot of languages are dying all over the world for want of and lack of vocabularies and potentials to grow. Because of that, many languages are dying. But we have the potentials. We have the potentials to grow scientifically and technologically. Punjabi, for instance, it has all relevant, all aspects for it to grow scientifically, technologically, socially.
So why the kind of hysteria which is coming in the case of Hindi by the Tamil Nadu also and South Indian state, but not with the English? So English is also like a foreign language, and it has swallowed many languages in a way since the colonial era. So why it is that much apprehension from the Hindi?
One thing I would like to recorrect your statement. English did not swallow any language. I would, for that, I should substantiate the history with Macaulay's education. Macaulay, when he started implementing English education here,
but at least it's a foreign language.
It's a foreign language. But he said that all indigenous languages should be protected. He said only one thing. He saw sati system. Wives are burnt, corpus of husbands. And a lot of injustices and superstitious practices and foolishness. When he saw that there is no science here, no technology here, no rationality, no logic here, then he thought that how come that Indians are looking like barbarians and there is no science, modern science was not written in local text at that time. And he said that it would take years together to translate all the modern sciences in local languages. And at that time, there were only two languages being taught all over India. No Punjabi, no Tamil. One is Veda, is Sanskrit. Another one is Arabic. And so he said that we have to have a scientific temperament. For that time being, we use English. And we shall not disturb the locus standi of the local languages. And because of English, no language died. But I can assure you, because of Hindi, all North Indian Hindi-based languages like Bhojpuri, Awadhi, Maithili, and Chhattisgarhi, all languages already gone.
But how you differentiate with the language policy of the colonial state and the Indian state? So is there identical or it's the difference?
There is a difference. Say, during the British rule, especially Macaulay was the one who was always criticized for imposing English. And he, before he came here to India in 1933. I think he came.
Yes.
And before he came, he was the member of parliament there. In the parliament, he mentioned the Eastern knowledge, that is West, this is India East. The Eastern knowledge has tremendous culture and social things, and it must be protected. Unfortunately, there is no modern science in it because of Sanskritization that invaded India for a long number of years and haunted it. And because of that, the scientific, technological transformation did not happen. So he said that while we wait for things to happen on its own, science, technology, and local languages, we try to use English as a temporary measure. And of course, he said that Indians are following foolishness and superstitious practices those days. And he said, let us make Indians, by color Indians, by taste British. And that is the statement people always use to criticize him. But that doesn't mean that he was trying to impose the culture. He wanted the local culture. Yes. But now, the difference between Macaulay and the new three-language formula is that Macaulay did not bring his culture. He wanted to bring only science, make scientific temperament. You read that very clearly.
But language does come with a culture.
Yes, it comes with a culture, but it did not inculcate it culture. Can you quote now, English created any culture here after Macaulay? It did not. That means they were honest. And whatever the things that they have inculcated here did not. So after British people left, we were still again the remains of Indians. We were not British. But whereas here now, this language policy tries to kill all cultures, very precious culture in Punjab, which even many states lack now.
So like there is always a celebration of the Tamil language, passion and romance and the nationalism in a way. But when it comes to Punjab, like we are sitting in a Punjab, the state which is reorganized on the basis of language. It is called the Punjabi Suba struggle. Suba is a Punjabi word having the Arabic origins, and it stands for the state, actually. So like when the reorganization, the language commission established, and reorganization commission was established in 1956, and all other states like Madras and all, they are being reorganized on the basis of language. But Punjab had to struggle for long 15 years after this 1950 65 war with Pakistan.
I think in 67 they made some
1966 after the war, when the heroic that expression by the Punjabis and all, and Nehru has given a statement that this Punjabi Suba, this is a Punjabi language state, will made on my dead body. This was the statement. And what you think people in Tamil Nadu know about all this? Because what I feel always is, it is always called that it is having the Sikh connotation. Actually, it's not the language state, but a Sikh state. And they are coming with under the garb of language to form the Sikh state.
Yeah.
And how it is identical with the Tamil language spirit, and how it is different?
That is a very critical question. It's a very nice question, very tough and critical question. See, you have highlighted two things. One is Sikh.
Yes.
Another one is language.
Yes.
That means it is a way of life. Maybe we call it like a religion. So there is some religiosity there. And if Punjab assumes that linguistic things, and that linguistic aspects are always linked to
religion.
Sikh, yeah.
But I want to clarify all to make my question better. Because there is a Sikh, why the religion angle comes? Because there is a counter polarization of a Hindi on the basis of Punjabi Hindus are asked to go for Hindi, and the Sikhs are by default go with the Punjabi, and Muslims are going. And the Punjab is being divided actually,
Yes.
the partition,
Yes.
and then the larger chunk of Punjab is with the other side of the Punjab, and the cultural capital Lahore gone. And all the that crores of Punjabis out across the border, they are still clinging with Urdu, not with Punjabi. And here the Hindus and all, and they are asked to follow the Hindi.
Yes.
And there is a polarization on the basis of the language question is being played at the with the tactics of religion. So what do you see? How it is different there, and what is the danger of this?
There are two things between Tamil Nadu and Punjab. Why in Punjab it was much resisted by the central government to preventing them from getting a sanction,
Yes.
a linguistic sanction on its own. And why similarly it is happening in Tamil Nadu means there is a similarity between Tamil Nadu and Punjab. See, Tamil Nadu, even though it's not religiously, because majority of them are considered
Hindus, yes.
But it has the tradition, it has the literature, it has the culture to diametrically oppose the Vedic Sanskritization. So that is the basic purpose they want to nullify Tamil. So in that aspect, they see Tamil as a threat. And yeah.
But what you think when that threat is coming from quote unquote a Hindu society, and but where the similar kind of critique or a threat or assertion is coming from a community which is not quote unquote technically Hindu, do you feel the state is having a different response or a more hostile response?
Tamil Nadu?
No, in case of Punjab.
In case of Punjab. See, that is why I wanted to tell the difference, because even though it is not having the same features of Tamil, because that majority are Hindus, they are considered Hindus,
Yes.
even though they are not born Hindus. But here majority are Sikh. So considering these two different dimensions, but the threat to them is the same. The threat, say from Tamil,
Yes.
say for instance, it is a culture that is diametrically opposing in all aspects, socially, culturally, everything on Sanskritization. The same thing, Punjab, it has a culture, it has a religiosity, it has a way of life that is diametrically opposing. You see, take all 10 gurus and Guru Granth Sahib, and the message, the essence of the message is nothing but restore, practice equality, love, compassion, and democracy, freedom. And that is the opposite of what Sanskrit scripts and way of life were taught to us. So that means they see these two states are the fundamental thing. Maybe this is a way of life, maybe religiosity, but there it is Tamil tradition and culture. So there is a cultural aspect. Here it is a kind of both cultural as well as religious aspect, which are diametrically polarizing, opposing the Sanskritization.
So, but we always feel that culture is more bigger and holistic than the religion part.
Yes.
But here we see when the introduction of the nation state in the India and the Indian subcontinent, we only have one nation in the subcontinent on the basis of language.
True.
But still, like we have that this introduction of the nation state, how it affects the culture and religion equation, and how they overlap each other.
See, the nation state actually should be considered as a confluence of all cultures, all religions, all languages, all social practices. That is the reality of the nation state, nationhood. I always say that it's a collective consciousness and manifestation of different diverse cultures. And that is that collectiveness is called the nation, and that nationhood should be reflected by nation state, which is built upon the constitution.
But it's not the case.
Yeah, it is not the case. That is why the nation state is slowly, with lack of that social democracy and social values and things, slowly the nation state, whoever sits there, are trying to monopolize the whole system or all sub-nations in one nation. And Punjabi nation, Tamil nation, all those nations, they are trying to make them subordinate and nullify it over a period of time so that they can create one nation and one identity. And by doing that, they enjoy certain privileges. That privilege is nothing but the saffron values and the related culture. And in order to do that, they are trying to inculcate through various manners. Say, for instance, there are so much of hundreds of cultural institutions there which support the Vedic and related system. And that is on social platform. And through education, a series of attempts have been made since independence, both Congress government and BJP government, to inculcate this against the interest of states like Punjab. But the similarity between Punjab, I would re-emphasize it, Tamil Nadu, is that these are the two states. Tell me any other states which are fundamentally, socially, culturally different from Vedic Sanskritization. Nothing. These are the only two states. So they are alarmed. They think that if this is allowed, you will also, because it is good.
In the terms of political violence also.
Why should we talk about violence? It's a political endorsement or political appeal or social appeal. You will have more advantage than them because you are telling everybody equal and you are having a very highly precious value system, and that will have an appeal compared to what they have.
So, what you feel the reason that the way you are articulating, the way your political leadership is articulating about that Vedic quote unquote inequality and the dehumanization, and despite all this articulation, whether from the political class or from the intellectual class like you still have the casteism, very crude form of casteism, very cruel form also, and still we don't have that much articulation on the national scale. No Punjabi scholar or politician is opposing the three language formula, but still we have some sort of social, as you have put it earlier, that visibly a more equal. So what you see that why, if you are so enlightened about the all drawbacks, why you are still struggling to have that baggage of inequality?
Inequality. That is also a very good question, because Tamil Nadu, despite of its past tradition,
yes,
I would say that only 1,500 years back, whatever happened in Tamil Nadu, the last 1,500 years are nonsense, which were saffronized. And you look at that the past Sangam period, that's 2000
period, yes. The Tamil literature is called as Sangam literature.
Sangam period.
Yes.
It is ancient. It's 2000 years old.
Yes.
And the grammar was written more than 2500 years ago for Tamil. And if you look at those literature, all are full of love, affection, and cordiality, compassion, equality, democracy, everything there.
Yes.
But where did we lose is that the moment we were following the tradition of Bhakti Marga, that was, I think, during the 5th century AD.
Okay.
We started from then, Bhakti Marga. And Lord Shiva was the name coined, identity coined by Tamil tradition, and without any source and without any base. And that Shiva, you look back, there was no literature or no source to call Lord Shiva as Shiva. But they have coined somehow. But they were trying to, the Vedanta were all born from South India, the three famous Vedanta, Advaita, Dvaita, and Visishta Advaita. All these were born from Tamil Nadu and neighboring states. All were one and the same. And they were trying to come out with merging the Vedic philosophies and Sanskrit philosophies with the Bhakti Marga. And all the fundamentals of both are one and the same. One and the same. In terms of epistemology, in terms of philosophy, culture, and things. So that was carried over for more than 2,200 years. And it was further strengthened by the kings of Tamil kings in the last 1,000 years. And then British period, they were not able to do anything with that. And it remained. And that is haunting, because whatever comes in the name of divinity or sacredness and sanctity, then people will immediately accept it because they will not question God.
So then all Tamil Renaissance, which you are like now propagating, it's coming with the colonial period?
It is not. It is, I'm saying that 1,500 years from now, because that is when we started fooling ourselves by following that dehumanizing philosophies through Veda and Brahmanism that penetrated into Tamil society. And that was the root cause that still exists now. So that means it is sacredness and sanctity that people put faith on certain absolute body or spirit called Shiva or Vishnu and so on. And they are not able to liberate from that sanctity.
Okay.
And that is the reason they are practicing inequality and caste system. So there must be, I am fighting for a solution now to liberate them from this and to enlighten them what is the truth.
So do you see that you put the two states like Punjab and they are fundamentally different than the national color and what the country is propagating, and when we have the Periyar, and here we have the like BSP and Kanchiram. So like how you see that assertion coming from these two states and how you explain, which you have already discussed.
Yes, actually that Kanchiram was trying to look at that inequality that existed here in North India. And he was trying to see how he can unite all the caste, suffering caste, and see politically awaken them so that by achieving political means he could do some social change. That was his thing. He was working reverse. He was looking at Miri first and then Piri later maybe. But whereas Periyar was opposite, that side. He was trying to make the society enlightened and achieve the path, find out the truth and be conscious, think and then take decisions. So that he was trying to make, inculcate the epistemic abilities of the humankind, of people there. And by that way, they will understand what is the truth and they will be changing. So in both ways, but the result more or less are same. But the ways in Punjab, or especially Kanchiram, what he did here in northern India, compared to Periyar, the objective was same, but the means were different.
So how you feel the current political class in Punjab, like in any North Indian, when your chief minister is talking about North India and all, and he is probably not talking about Punjab. So we are misplaced also in a way. So like here in Punjab, the current political class and your current political class, and if we compare both, and they show like very less kind of the language activism in a way the Tamil Nadu is showing. Do you see that it is because of like I don't know how much you are following the Punjab politics or not. So, but still, what is the sense coming to you that why there is like if we take Punjab as a case study, why there is no kind of opposition, the kind of opposition to the new education policy, to this language formula is coming from states like Punjab but Tamil Nadu?
It's the basic root cause is Punjabis were misled in the name of nationalism. The first thing is, I would say, since Congress government onwards, have you seen any party or any with regional ideologies ruling this state? Not much, except some small interruptions. Mostly Punjabis thought genuinely, truthfully, they thought that they could freely live here and they could freely practice their language and values and religion. But once they come out with oppositions and resistance to a lot of problems the history has inflicted upon them, a lot of sufferings and things. Only then they are now trying to understand. The main fundamental reason is that here in Punjab, nationalism was misguiding, and they understood wrongly what nationalism means to them. And they thought, say for instance, to us in Tamil Nadu, nationalism means ensure diversity and make more federalism, and that diversity is the strength of our country in terms of knowledge, in terms of culture, in terms of traditions. When you have more traditions, more culture, more and more creativity comes. That is the viewpoint of Tamil Nadu. And whereas the Punjabis felt, okay, Hindi is what is our sister language, brother language, or Sanskrit is what it is, half of the language, whatever the vocabulary is, it is part of.
We're talking about that the Punjabi response of this three language formula. You said that Punjabis is understood, misguided with the wrongfully understood the nationalism. And we have the Punjabi culture, Punjabi music is going on, very popular, and there is a very famous Punjabi singer is all over. Like I don't know whether is in South India he has went the Diljit Dosanjh. This is very big name.
Yeah, we know.
We know, you know. And the point he is, well, he has a concert in Delhi, and he was having a tricolor over his shoulders, and he was addressing to the audience, to the people who came in the concert, and said that why I always talk about Punjabi, because I was born in Punjab. First word I which was came to my mind was Punjab, from Punjabi. My mother was speaking Punjabi. That's why I'm saying मैं हूँ Punjab. I'm Punjab. So that's why Punjabi is important to me. But my question to you is, considering all this, why a cultural icon like him had to explain himself like this?
Because they are put in defensive mode. They are not allowed to freely exercise and practice their values and system and use their language, and they are always put in the defensive mode. So there is a fear factor. Fear factor means not fearing. It is a kind of a receiving mode they are in, and so that they have to make some self-explanatory.
How one can make this assertive or offensive mode?
I'm not saying offensive mode, it is the right mode. See, for you to exercise your rights, fundamental rights, and your religiosity, and your language, and your culture and value system, you must have the right to do it. That doesn't mean offensive. But people, the opponents or critic consider this as, the so-called nationalist consider this as offensive. But the true nationalism will accommodate every rights of every society.
So then there is a traditional, it's a wisdom kind of, that the culture can't be separated in a way. Culture can't be divided. But when we take as like Punjab as an example, that Punjab is being divided in 47, and you have a larger chunk of that side and this side, and then you have the clear cultural divide. Like here you have the more Sikh system, and there you have the more Muslim system. And how you see this? That culture or language can be divided?
Cannot, because it shows that political will can divide.
So okay. So then what you see, what we are witnessing now, it's a short-lived phenomena, like coming with nation state and all.
Yes, that is the nation state with all political will made it happen, and it divided Punjab. Even though the former Punjab had same character and same qualities, and now it is Islamic Punjab, and another side is not Sikh Punjab. They want to have a Hindu Punjab. That is the worrying me. The thing is, at least in the Indian side, Punjab, at least they must be allowed to practice.
Okay.
But the political will divide.
How you see the diaspora angle? Like when you, I'm asking this question because the Tamils also have a very strong diaspora in Europe and all, and we also have in Punjab in the diaspora. And when you go, like when you migrate from here, from the homeland, and the assertion you give, the cultural assertion, you give via the language, the religion, or the food. So the food you have to leave first when you migrate, and then you have to leave the language, and the religion is the last thing which you leave. So still all that cultural assertion which is being inculcated and so vocal in the diaspora, not in the homeland. How you see this relationship? Diaspora helping in a way, or it's like just it's kind of the polarization?
You mean that the diaspora is adhering to the culture?
Yes.
That is what you are
Do you
meaning.
see that is any contribution which the role the diaspora can play in what we are talking about, the language and all? Once you migrated from here, what kind of role you have?
That is, the diaspora is carrying forward the local traditions and values and things. I agree with that. But one difference is that, in my opinion, because I also lived in England and worked in United States and many countries, most of the countries where Tamil diaspora also I have interacted with, and also Punjabis. So the difference between the Hindus diaspora and Sikh diaspora. The Sikh diaspora exactly practiced what it acquired, what it learned in India. Whereas the Hindu diaspora is taking the caste across all over the world. Say, for instance, Seattle, Washington state, passed anti-caste discrimination bill. America has been forced to pass a law against caste discrimination. It is not in India. It is in United States. So
but it also has been withdrawn.
Yeah. But that is the power. That is the political will. See, that became a issue. At least it raised the eyebrow of people. So this shows that wherever Hindus goes, whether it is Tamil Hindus or UP Hindus or Biharis or whoever, they carry on with their culture also. That culture is nothing but this Vedic culture, which is caste.
So my last question is, like in this diversity, you said that nation is a diversity, is a culmination of diversities, and when we have that nation and the idea of Rabindranath Tagore and all, and this education policy and the language formula, they are the symptoms actually. Actually, they will come with something else also.
True.
And how we can respond to this all phenomena, in a larger perspective, in the long run, as a strategy, all distinct cultures like Tamil and Punjabi and all other things. What lies ahead for us? Like,
I think that there is a threat ahead, I feel, for the fundamental existence of diversity in India, diverse societies and culture. The reason is, with the rise of technologies and modern science and many other developments happening all over the world, but India is secluded from these developments in terms of the thought, the Indian thought or Indian narrative is getting more and more stronger in favor of the kind of oppressive or dehumanizing philosophies. And because the society, the media is with them, and the power is with them, money is with them, business is with them, everything is now aligned, ever first in the Indian history. This is very much dangerous. If it continues, then the fundamental existence of our precious diverse culture, which is nothing but knowledge, our knowledge, wealth of knowledge, that are going to be facing a problem. So if it continues, then we might lose our potential to thrive and survive both scientifically, economically, politically in the global picture. It will take the Indian societies backward, and they will be less productive with science, technology, production, and trade, and all those.
So disintegration can be the problem.
Then eventually, when you are in crisis for demands, for want of more requirements, and the dearth of requirements, if you face, then what will you face? Then will be facing some kind of a crisis in the society, or even in the nation state that they build. And these are all the things that the rulers and the policymakers should understand, that they have to make India united by allowing diversity, diverse culture, diverse language. And these are our treasure. And there may be plus and minuses, but the collective confluence of all these cultures and knowledge system, if you make them to blend together and make intercourse with each other, then the new knowledge being developed will be creative and productive, and it will really in turn will solve the world problems as well. So I think that the Indian the way the nation state takes the communities and societies across, and the way by which they make one nation, one language, one religion, one culture, one value system, and the national higher education framework, higher education framework, and national curriculum framework for school education, and national foundation education framework. You look at all, they are trying to infiltrate and emphasize that Vedic and Saffron kind of value systems. In subject matters I'm talking about, in contents, in syllabus, and in learning objectives, outcomes. Everywhere it is getting reflected, even in research. Hundreds of crores being invested to research on Vedic science and Vedic maths. What is that? Is it a pride to just do a research to say that Pythagoras theorem was ours? Already Pythagoras theorem has been discovered. And now you have to do more research to use Pythagoras theorem in future. How are you going to be benefited? Instead of, say, doing research to claim that it is my theory, not Pythagoras theory. That is what they are trying to do. So it is a backward approach, and it is a fascist approach. So I think that the government should shed away, I think, all these kind of narrowed focus, because it's a large country, and if there is a problem, then this country will face the largest crisis in the world in the near future.
Thank you. So ਇਹ ਸਨ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਜਵਾਹਰ ਨੈਸਨ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੋ ਜ਼ੁਬਾਨ ਦੇ ਮਸਲੇ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਸਿਆਸਤ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਜਾਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੌਨਟੈਕਸਟ ਹੈ ਦੱਖਣੀ ਰਾਜਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ 'ਤੇ ਤਮਿਲਨਾਡੂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਅਤੇ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦਾ ਅਤੇ ਤਮਿਲਨਾਡੂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਂਝ ਹੈ ਰਜਿਸਟੈਂਸ ਦਾ, ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ, ਹੋਰ ਸਾਰੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਡਾਇਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਆ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ, ਤਾਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਡਾਇਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਬਚੇਗੀ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਆ, ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਬਚ ਸਕਦਾ। ਅਤੇ ਇਸ ਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਡਾਇਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਹੈ, ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅਲਾਓ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਅਤੇ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਦੀ ਬਿਹਤਰੀ ਹੈ। ਤਾਂ ਉਮੀਦ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਸਾਰੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਦੋਂ ਕੌਮੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਨੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ 3 ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਫਾਰਮੂਲਾ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਬਹਿਸ ਪੱਕੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ, ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਮੀਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਇਹ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਸਹਾਈ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਇਸ ਮਸਲੇ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਣ ਲਈ। ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਣ ਲਈ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੀ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਕਲ ਕਲਾਸ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀ ਰਾਜਨੀਤਿਕ ਚੇਤਨਤਾ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ, ਜਾਂ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੌਮਵਾਦ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲਿਜ਼ਮ ਹੈ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦਾ, ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਕਿ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਪਿਨ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਮਿਸਗਾਈਡਡ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ, ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਸਵਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਰਾਜਨੀਤੀਵਾਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਹੋਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਜਿਸ ਢੰਗ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੱਖਣੀ ਰਾਜਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਰਾਜਨੀਤੀਵਾਨ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਸਲਾ ਚੱਕ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਉੱਦਾਂ ਨਾ ਤਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਕਾਲਰ ਚੱਕ ਰਹੇ ਹੈ, ਨਾ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਾਜਨੀਤਿਕ ਨੇਤਾ ਚੱਕ ਰਹੇ ਹੈ। ਤਾਂ ਇਸ ਸਾਰੇ ਨੁਕਤੇ 'ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਵਿਚਾਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਾਂਝ ਪਾਈ। ਉਮੀਦ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਪਸੰਦ ਆਏਗੀ। ਕਮੈਂਟ ਬਾਕਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣੀ ਰਾਏ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਰੱਖਿਓ। ਧੰਨਵਾਦ।